Alright, I'm Crazy KO, and welcome back to Sherlock Holmes vs. Jack the Ripper. Now, last episode we got the first Ripper letter, got to read that, and now we have been told to leave Whitechapel and go away, but I don't think that's what we're doing, so I think we're going to the pub.
Ah, Holmes,
Yes.
I got your message, and here I
There you
am.
go. Hi, Watson. We're going to the pub.
Perfect, Watson. That oaf Bluto is looking for us with evil intentions, and he may be hiding here. I will try to get more information inside. You, Watson, will be our lookout.
Why do we always make him
and
look
at
out?
the
I feel like
slightest
he's a
suspicious
horrible
sound, do
lookout.
not hesitate to call the constable on his rounds.
Cool. Hey, it's him.
Good evening, Mr. Bully.
We know each other?
No, however, I have some information that may be of interest to you.
Talk, my friend. A pint for you if what you say is worth something. Does it have to do with the Whitechapel murders?
Indeed, I know the identity of the man who wrote a letter to the police, a letter entitled Dear Boss, in which the author claims to be the Whitechapel murderer and is signed Jack the Ripper.
What?
It's a journalist who is inspired by Spring-Heeled Jack in order to strengthen the credibility and the seriousness of his agency. This new Jack will give him some first-hand information that he, in turn, will dole out sparingly to the authorities, as well as some carefully distilled indiscretions that the big papers will come to beg of him. He plays both sides off against one another and becomes the chief orchestrator of the rumour. He wrote this letter in this very spot, and he has red ink on his fingers. Like you.
What exactly are you after, my friend?
You've been threatening a certain Squibby to distribute a telegram naming him as a possible suspect in these murders in revenge for an old feud. I would suggest you don't write this note, and that you leave Squibby alone.
I'd forgotten about the existence of that rapscallion. I threw that at him when I was visiting the station to get the dope. You should have seen his face.
You must also stop sending these letters that waste the authorities' precious time.
Right, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. I have a great relationship with the Bobbies. Just ask around. I don't have to answer to nobody. Now leave me alone.
Farewell,
Okay.
sir.
Good riddance.
Cool. Can I go now?
Hey, you wouldn't be the gas man that Bluto's looking for.
Don't know him.
We're gonna leave now. Before Bluto finds us and
Let's hurry
murders
to the
us.
police station, Watson. We are close to our goal. Squibby will be able to reveal what he knows about Tumblety. Squibby, so that's it. You're a free man again. We were just coming to the station to find you.
Yeah, the Bobbies agreed to let me go, and I came to see Bluto before ferreting you out. So, you've seen the newspaper man?
Yes, he is in the pub and everything is taken care of, but I'm waiting to hear what you have to say about Dr. Tumblety.
Okay, but we have to be quick. One night, I goes to see Bluto in his hideout that ain't far from the boarding house where this Tumblety bloke has a room. I see him coming in too. He must have been on one real binge. To the point, the Tumblety fella was there, and he smiles at me, all nice like. He tells me he's a great Yankee doctor, but my business interests him. I'm interested, I tell him, but I'm not the type to just jump right in without getting to know a person, see? He invites me
Smart.
around to his room to talk business, just him and me. We empty a bottle or two, and all of a sudden, like, he wants to show me what he's got in this big trunk that he always carts around places. I just about vomited, see? In these jars, just like pickles, you know, there were pieces of meat. And he whispers that it's the lady bits of some old dames. He called them peckymins. I call them love
Peckymins.
killers, I would.
You mean
Yeah.
specimens.
After that, he starts to go on about rich folk. They ain't nothing but dogs, and I won't tell you the worst of it. Then he comes all close to me and puts his sweaty hand on my leg. He was one of them types, not me. I don't wait a second before I give him a good thrashing, and I start running and let go of him, and he still wants to see me again just to talk business. But then I had to do time, so business.
Do you know where he can be found?
Why, ain't he in his digs? Maybe he got to liking life behind bars too. I heard that in some jobs there's a way to...
Thank you for your information, and we'll meet again, my friend. Here is the sum I promised to get you out of London.
Ciao, fella. I've just got a little score to settle with Bluto, and I'm heading for the country.
Nice. Cool, we have our information. Ooh, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Lipski!
What? What? I missed something.
My dear Watson, we must strike while the iron is hot. We have avoided meeting Dr. Tumblety until now. The time has come to do so.
Do you have an opinion, Holmes?
We must assure ourselves that the factor collector of female organs and a murderer who removes said organs are resident in the same area at the same time is nothing more than coincidence.
Okay. Let's... No.
What are we doing, Holmes?
Holmes, you turned around. What are you doing? That's also what I would like to know, Watson.
I thought that you wouldn't bring me back your keys. Oh, it's you, Mr. Holmes. Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Indeed, it is I again. One of your tenants left without returning his keys?
Yes, it's Dr. Tumblety whom we spoke about. Shortly after your last visit here, some constables came and asked me a few questions regarding him. Barely had they left than the doctor came barreling around the street corner and rushed up into his room upstairs. A little while afterwards, while I was tidying, I heard a thud in his room and a rush down the stairs. He left with most of his bags, but without returning his keys. You can go up and see if you wish. The door is still open.
I'm missing some information.
What? What am I missing? Oh.
Careful, Watson. Do not walk around here until I've inspected these marks.
Oh, that's what I'm missing.
I know, Holmes, I know.
How did he get over
understand
there?
Your methods.
He jumped.
And then he would have stepped on these marks.
He jumped really tall.
You have your rule and magnifying glass. I thought that you had forgotten them, Holmes.
I never forget the essentials, my dear Watson.
Okay.
Right foot, light trails. The man was running. Right foot, light trails. The man was running.
Okay.
Size 13.
Okay.
I'm missing some information.
You have your rule
Yes, we
and
know, Watson.
magnifying...
I never forget the essentials.
Shush. What did I...
Right foot, light trails. This isn't water. Going by its sticky texture and odor, I'd say we're dealing with formalin. These are the footprints of a tall man who had recently stepped in formalin and who left this room in a hurry.
Well, can I walk on it and enter the room now, Holmes?
No, Watson, you have to stay outside. I'm mad at you.
These footprints are the same as those found in front of the door.
Cool.
Going by its size, this enormous trunk must be a wardrobe. These brackets are rather unusual. What do you think, Watson?
Let's see, Holmes. These are the names of the battles from the American Civil War.
Oh. Oh, you need the dates.
Hence the...
Oh.
Have fun! That's why I gave you the iPad.
Alright, guys. Do you know your American civil history? I don't.
Because you're not American.
Yeah, because I'm not American, and apparently we don't care about them enough to learn anything about them. Okay, so if we Google Fort Sumter Battle. When did it take place? April 12th, 1861. This one.
I am under the impression that
Yes,
the dates
yes,
written
yes,
correspond to the...
yes. So would it be like 120461? Okay.
Let's see. 5 latches, each fitted
Yes,
with a
I
6-number
know.
combination system.
Oops. Okay, so 12, 1, 2, 4. Oops, wrong way. No, 6. And 1, there we go. Okay.
You're not done. You also have to find the flag of the winning side and what sort of hat they wore.
How are you supposed to know this?
I just went through and clicked until the latch.
If you're American, do they teach you this in school?
You're not going to be able to find it. You just have to click through until each latch.
Okay, well, I'm going to do these. Or, yeah, I guess. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently it's that one. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
But we'll go with it. Okay, what's the next battle? Hello? No. I need this back. Okay, the anti-Tam battle. September 17th, 1862. Okay. $17.09 $62. Okay, we'll see if it's this cap. Okay, it is. Handy. Okay. Again, don't know who those are.
I tried looking up if they were state flags or anything. I couldn't get anything, so.
Chancellorsville.
There might be regimental flags. No idea.
April 30th to May 6th in 63. Okay. It'll be this one. Ooh. In 63. Okay. I'll change the hat. Okay, it was the Cowboys. I don't know. Okay, Gettysburg. I feel like I should know the date for Gettysburg,
No,
but
you're thinking the Gettysburg Address.
oh,
Lincoln.
okay. That would be why. I was like, the name sounds familiar. No, I need the battle, not just where Gettysburg is. Gettysburg Battle. Battle of Gettysburg. July 3rd, 1863. Okay, that would be this other one. So, 03, 07, 63. Okay, who fought in this one? Oops. Okay, the Green Hats. Seems like the most random thing you could pick for a puzzle in your
He's
game.
American.
Yeah.
And you turned the wrong way upon entering the room.
Did I?
Yes.
Why?
You started on the other side of the room. They would have given you clues about this.
Oh, would they?
Yes.
Well, I don't know, do I? May till July 1863. Oh, I have another 63?
No, that's the date that's missing
Oh.
that Watson said told you about.
Oh, okay. So am I using the May date or the July date? Or do I have to find it?
Huh?
Do I have to find it? Okay. She nodded that time. I don't know how, when I'm staring at this, I'm supposed to hear a nod, but... Will this stay?
I don't know.
Oh,
I did this room
hope it
properly.
stays. I hope it stays.
Going by its size, this enormous trunk must be a wardrobe.
Yes, it does. Okay, good. Hey, look, clues.
There are a few pieces of a large glass jar in this puddle. The man who left the footprints on the ground must have walked in it while fleeing. These footsteps must be those of Squibby. He must have hit Tumblety, who dropped one of his jars.
And he ran out. Elementary, Holmes.
Perfect, Watson.
Hey, you don't want any of these things? Interesting. Dear Francis, it is impossible for us to meet again. Or is it possible? It is impossible for us to meet again? Oh, sorry. I thought that was a question mark for some reason. It read question mark. I'm feeling terrible, as pursuing our relationship further would put both my marriage and my reputation in danger. I must return to that life of love, fleeting and physical, in which a few coins to these young men assures corporal peace and anonymity. These growing feelings that I have for you make me scared, and I would prefer to shun this passion for the fear that it may never leave me. Perhaps we shall cross paths again one day in a discreet location where like-minded men meet. I know that you frequent them regularly, you never hide yourself. For my part, I will spend more time with my wife and girls in order to find serenity, and I hope to throw the veil of oblivion over our passionate embraces. All the best, Charles. Okay. Oh, is this another one? My dear Francis, it is in putting aside our common past, and thus as a friend, that I am sending you these words. I have learned from some mutual friends of your recent trouble with the law. You should be more careful. England has nothing in common with the Wild West, but her seedy areas can be just as dangerous. Your attraction to young rogues will cost you dearly one of these days, whether it be at the end of an alley or on the bench of a jury. A man of your quality and fortune does not have to frequent the hovels and bring his pistol with him everywhere. It is not necessary to use violence to find partners, unless his violence pleases you. Certain circles that we used to frequent are still open to you. Take advantage of this healthy and respectable company rather than demeaning yourself with these destitute lads. And pray get rid of that god-awful chest. Who knows what the people to whom you show while bragging must think of speaking of it? The man you once loved, Henry.
This Dr. Tumblety seems to be attracted to men more than women. That much is clear. So, the doctor has a handgun, and he would use it to restrain young men, perhaps.
Interesting. Okay.
What do you think, Holmes?
I don't want to talk to you. I want... Apparently not what's under the bed, but okay. Do not understand how you found yourself in this situation. Your passionate discussions on legitimacy of this war should have convinced more than one. I still remember when you imitated him during that meeting. You struck that very character pose that you exclaimed, "Vicksburg is the key. The war can never be brought to a close until that key is in our pocket." We all applauded. I am sure that even Lincoln himself would have applauded. During these dark hours, it was rare to have the occasion to laugh. So many deaths, ending with our much-loved president, killed by this coward and left to join those of the victory at Gettysburg, who courageously fell so that the next day the key would be in our pocket. Okay.
If this letter is addressed to him, it would appear our doctor is a veteran of the American Civil War. Vicksburg is the key. Now, that is interesting.
Vicksburg. Okay. I don't see anything else. Do you see anything, Watson? No. So...
Going by its size, this enormous trunk must be a wardrobe.
How do I open this?
The moral, the key.
I don't know what that means. She said the morrow, the key.
Yeah, that's it right there.
What does that mean? Is this what I need?
No.
What's the morrow? I don't understand.
What are the dates for the Vicksburg battle?
May 18th, 1863 to July 4th, 1863.
There you go.
So would it be July 5th, 1863? That would be the morrow, right? The morrow?
Yep.
What do you mean maybe? You just did this!
Yeah, I don't remember if it was the 4th or the 5th. It was in July.
Wow. What's the point of you?
That was last week.
Okay. But I won't know if that's right.
Nope. So if you cycle through all the things and find out that none of them work.
Yeah, none of them work.
Try 4.
Elementary.
Oh, okay.
This is dreadful, Holmes. This trunk contains 4
Does
jars
it?
in
It's
which
so dark.
organs are
I
floating.
can't see anything.
Watson, can you tell me at a glance what these organs are?
I would say that they are parts of female reproductive organs.
Are these specimens fresh?
No, and I am quite certain of it. From the colour and appearance, I'd say these organs have been in these jars for several months, if not years.
Let's go to Baker Street.
We're not going
Is there
to tell
someone
anyone
here?
about that?
Yes.
What's going on, Finley? You seem to be in a panic.
The 2 police officers wanted to know if someone suspicious had entered here. The Whitechapel killer has struck again, and if I
Ooh.
understood correctly, he killed 2 women in the past few hours.
Where?
The double
I
murder.
don't know. The police didn't tell me anything.
Quick, Holmes, we must catch up with them.
Murder,
Certainly
double
not, Watson.
murder.
Mr. Finley, do you know if the doctor had any other pieces of luggage up there apart from this trunk?
1 or 2, I think.
Do you take care of the doctor's laundry?
My wife does laundry for the tenants once a week. The sheets likewise.
Would you be kind enough to let us know as soon as possible if the doctor shows up again?
Certainly. I'm just worried that he won't be back, you see, and I'm annoyed about my keys.
Holmes, I don't follow. The Whitechapel killer is, at this very moment, very close by, and we are just staying put, twiddling our thumbs.
The Whitechapel killer has always been nearby, and what will we do? Go back to the scene of the crime or crimes and mix with the onlookers and trample the crime scenes even more? No, our time will come. Let's return to Baker Street.
Let's go back to Baker Street. Home, sweet home.
Ooh, the night of the double murder.
We were less than 200 feet away from the first victim a few minutes before she was murdered. We might even have heard the murderer's voice. And we haven't done a thing for the past week.
You're the one not doing anything, Watson. For my part, I have been working, and as you know, I've made good use of this week by tracking down and verifying all of the solid facts on these 2 murders to write up
I'm
the
just
notes
like
that are on
poking
my
myself
desk.
in the mouth with a
Read them
pipe.
over again and try to gain a bit of perspective.
Alright. Note on the murder of Liz Stride in Dutfield's Yard. Note on the murder of Liz Stride, Dutfield's Yard. Certain information that I've collected must be verified. Liz Stride, nickname Long Liz, 45-year-old, height 5 feet 5 inches, occasional prostitute. Lived for the past 3 years in a stormy relationship with a certain Kidney, a waterside laborer, 36 years of age, whom she left a few days earlier. Charged him with assault but failed to appear in court and the case was thrown out. Victim was discovered dead by one Louis Demis Schultz at 1 o'clock in the morning on September 30th. Man was first thought was to verify it if his wife in the building next door was still alive before sounding the alarm. 2 doctors who came at the police's request to the scene of the crime in the moments after the discovery of the corpse put the time of death after 12:46 a.m. Cause of death: hemorrhage due to the throat injury. Weapon was a small knife with a large blunt edge. Verification of the statement is necessary. Could this wound have been caused by another tool? Okay. Neither the body nor the clothes were damaged, soiled, or disturbed by the killer. Right hand was open, stained with blood, resting on the chest. Left hand was on the ground, partially closed, holding a packet of pastilles. The location of the discovery was a courtyard called Dutfield's Yard, whose doors lead onto Burner Street in Whitechapel. Victim was found stretched out on the ground a few inches from the wall of one of the buildings served by this courtyard, the International Working Men's Club. Association, composed mainly of Jews originally from Russia and Poland, were organizing a conference that night on the subject "Why Should Jews Be Socialists?" presided by Mr. Morris Eagle. Meeting ended at 11:30 p.m., but many members remained to debate and sing within the premises of the association. An American present that evening declared to have been in the courtyard at 12:20 a.m. and went into the street and didn't see anything unusual. He then returned back inside the club, but his estimation of time spent outside is approximate at best. 2 witnesses were quoted by the press: Constable Smith, who was doing his rounds in the area on the night in question, and a Hungarian by the name of Schwartz, who made his statement at the police station, accompanied by an interpreter because he does not speak English. Transcription of these statements by the press should be treated with caution. It would be advisable, if at all possible, to consult the exact content. Observe the clothing worn by the victim, as well as her possession at the time of the discovery of the body. Clothing: long black cloth jacket, fur trimmed around the bottom with red rose and white maidenhair fern pinned to it. Black skirt. I almost said shirt, but that's skirt. Black crepe bonnet. Checked neck scarf knotted on left side. Dark brown velveteen bodice. 2 light serge petticoats. 1 white chemise. White stockings. Spring-sided boots. 2 handkerchiefs. One is noticed to have fruit stains on it. A thimble. A piece of wood wound around a card. In the pocket of her underskirt, a key, a small piece of lead pencil, 6 large and 1 small button, a comb, a broken piece of comb, a metal spoon, a hook as from a dress, a piece of muslin, 1 or 2 small pieces of paper. Okay, oh man, so many things. Note on the murder of Catherine Eddowes. Catherine Eddowes, 46 years old, height 5 foot, occasional prostitute. Regular relationship for 7 years with one John Kelly, a man of no regular employment and about the same age as the victim. Victim was found dead at 1:44 a.m. on September 30th by P.C. Watkins, who was on his rounds. He secured the area by calling to the watchman of the warehouse located some feet from the crime scene. According to the doctor who arrived on the scene at 2:18 a.m., the victim had just been dead for half an hour. Unlikely, but we know from experience how hard it is to precisely establish the time of death when the corpse has been very mistreated. Cause of death: hemorrhage due to a throat wound. The medical examiner also confirmed that additionally the extractions committed on the corpse were done post-mortem by a right-handed man possessing a long-bladed knife. Victim was subject to numerous mutilations. Victim was found stretched out in a dark corner of Mitre Square, notorious meeting spot for prostitutes and their clients because of this remote, poorly lit location. Should be noted that the victim was freed from the Bishopsgate Street Police drunk tank at 1 o'clock in the morning. Mitre Square was visited at 1:30 a.m. by P.C. Watkins coming from Mitre Street and 1:42 a.m. by P.C. Harvey coming from Church Passage. 2 police constables didn't see anything suspicious in the area, but it should be noted that P.C. Harvey didn't enter into Mitre Square, unlike P.C. Watkins. The watchman who came to lend a hand to Watkins at the time of the discovery of the body had been awoken during the time of the crime. Okay. His door is located a few feet from the spot where the victim was dying and didn't hear anything until the police's call. Firstly, we must note that the clothing worn by Catherine Eddowes are very characteristic. I think, in particular, the patterned green chintz skirt as well as the white men's vest. Few of her possessions, including the thimble, were found around the corpse. White apron was found on the corpse with a part missing. Thus, this missing part, previously resewn, thus ensuring authenticity, was found at 2:55 a.m. on the night of the murder by P.C. Alfred Long, who states that the object wasn't there at his preceding patrol at 2:20 a.m. A piece of bloody apron was found in the entrance hall leading to the stairs of 108-119 Wentworth Model Dwellings of Goldston Street. At the right of the entrance, just above the apron, was found the following inscription in chalk: "The Jews are not the men that will be blamed for nothing. The Jews are not the men that will be blamed for nothing. The Wentworth Model Dwellings building has almost exclusively occupied by Israelites, and Goldston Street being the site of a very popular, much frequented market, he decided to erase the inscription before the day broke." Kate Eddowes' belongings, wearing at the time of her murder: a black straw bonnet trimmed in green and black velvet, with black beads, black strings worn tied to the head, black cloth jacket trimmed around the collar and cuffs with imitation fur, and around the pockets in black silk braid and fur, large metal buttons. Dark green chintz skirt, 3 flounces, brown button on waistband. Skirt is patterned with Michaelmas daisies and gold lilies. Man's white vest, matching buttons down front. Brown linsey bodice, black velvet collar with brown buttons down the front. Grey stuffed petticoats with white waistband. Very old green alpaca skirt, worn as undergarment. Very old ragged blue skirt with red flounces, light to a lining, worn as undergarment. So many layers of clothing. White calico chemise, a pair of men's lace-up boots, mohair laces, right boot repaired with red thread. Wow, this is very precise. 1 piece of red gauze silk worn as neckerchief, 1 large white pocket handkerchief, 1 large white cotton handkerchief with red and white bird's eye border. 2 unbleached calico pockets, tape string, 1 blue striped bed tickling pocket, brown ribbed knee stockings darned with white cotton. Possessions: 2 small blue bags, a short black clay pipes. 2 short black clay pipes, 1 tin box containing tea. Oh, it goes on. 1 tin box containing sugar, 1 tin matchbox empty, 12 pieces of white rag, 1 piece coarse linen, white, 1 piece of blue and white shirting, 3 cornered, 1 piece red flannel with pins and needles, 6 pieces soap, 1 small tooth comb, 1 handled table knife, 1 metal spoon, 1 red leather cigarette case with white metal fittings, 1 ball hemp, 1 piece of old white apron with repair, several buttons, and a thimble. Wow, she kept a lot of stuff on her. Mustard tin containing 2 pawn tickets, 1 in the name of Emily Barrel 52 Whites Row, dated August 31st, £9 for a man, or pence for a man's flannel shirt. Others in the name of Jane Kelly of 6 Dorset Street and dated September 28th, 2 shillings for a pair of men's boots. Both addresses are false. Printed handbill, portion of pair of spectacles, 1 red mitten. Holy cow. How much stuff can you carry at once?
I have read and reread them.
And a
But
bag
give me
of
something
holding.
to do then. A task where I
playing
can get
D&D.
stuck in, because
Find me a slaughterhouse that will give us exclusive use of its block for an hour. And find me, in your opinion, which common animal shares the most characteristics with humans from a physiological point
Oh,
of view.
yay, are we gonna hack up an animal?
I don't even know why I asked that question. Pray, find a dozen fresh pig's heads, Watson. Not big heads, I prefer small ones.
Pig's heads.
sows?
That's it, Watson. As soon as you have done that, let me know.
12
I request that you
pickets.
search in Whitechapel. Who knows? Perhaps you will learn something about where Dr. Tumblety may be hiding. There is also no shortage of slaughterhouses and pig's heads in those parts.
Wow. That sounds fun.
Go find pigs.
Pigs! I don't know, I want my map. Where am I going? Where am I going?
Wander. I'll find
Pigs'
a pig
heads.
spot and see if they have pigs.
Pigs' heads? Maybe the pet store. No. Is there a butcher here?
Not that you know of.
No.
Pick a random person to ask about pigs.
Ask the man at the pet store. He knows a lot of things, this man at the pet
What
store.
a ridiculous idea to have asked Holmes for something to do. Where on earth am I going to find what he wants? Perhaps that kind Lucy will be able to help
Oh,
me.
okay, I was gonna go to the pet store, but we can go to Lucy's.
I must go to Miss
Lucy.
Bella's.
Oh, Lucy. She's not in her window. Oh, Lucy. I'm sorry
Let's
to bother
go to Miss
you
Bella's.
at work, but I need some pig's heads, and you might know
Out of the way, I don't like the look of
where
you.
to find them? Question mark.
Good evening, Lucy. But is something wrong?
Good evening, Dr. Watson. Yes, it's my uncle. He's no longer with us.
Please accept my condolences, miss.
Thank you, Doctor.
Died.
But why are you here? Can I help you?
My request
I'm looking
may
for
sound rather
pig's heads.
strange.
Because you'll
but
know
do
where
you
they
know
are.
If there is a butcher's or slaughterhouse in the area where pigs are killed.
Yes, Fletcher's the man. He was a regular client, owner of a little butcher's shop not far. But Miss Bella didn't want him to come, as long as he didn't treat his awful sickness.
Can you point to his shop on my map?
Certainly.
Sweet.
Do you know anything about the 2 latest murders?
Oh, goodness me, no. All the girls in the
Conscience is
neighbourhood
sitting
are
on the floor.
terrified. Who will be next? That's what everyone is asking.
Doing.
Goodbye, Lucy.
Until next time,
I don't
perhaps,
know if
Doctor.
my camera is blocking you. Okay, well, luckily Lucy is a nice person and put the
Didn't throw you.
Ah, there's
yeah
Fletcher's butcher
didn't
shop.
throw me out and pointed on my map where the butcher shop is.
suppose due to illness. If the proprietor is ill, the butcher's block is probably not being used. Perhaps I can use it. Now, where could a sick butcher have got to?
The clinic.
Yes, if Fletcher is ill, he should be here.
It's right next door even. Very handy.
Yes, if Fletcher is ill, he should be here.
You said that, Watson.
Well, he's making sure you
Are you Fletcher or are you Fletcher? Fletcher? Okay, it doesn't let me talk to you. Let's go talk to the doctor. Doctor man. I like how he's still playing with his syringes and needles.
Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Good evening, Dr. Gibbons. I have come to see you because I was wondering if, by any chance, you happen to have a patient by the name of Fletcher, a butcher who would have relinquished his shop due to illness. An illness caught during nocturnal encounters, if you catch my drift.
Fletcher is one of the regulars at the clinic. Mercury treatment against syphilis. A night with Venus, a lifetime with Mercury. He left London a fortnight ago for the fresh country air. Why is he of interest to you?
Oh, no reason. I'm more interested in using his shop, only for an hour or so. Would he have left his keys with family in the area?
He has none left, but he must have left Hardiman, the cat's meat seller, to oversee his shop. They're in business. They're good friends.
Do you know where he can be found?
No, but wander around the neighbourhood and listen for his beep beeps. He often passes in front of the clinic. Besides...
Okay, we're gonna go talk to the cat man. Cat food man. For more kebabs.
For cats.
Yes.
It's me that you're looking for, sweetheart.
I don't think it is.
Actually, no. I am looking for the cat food seller, Hardiman.
Hardiman? Poor Hardiman. It isn't quitting time for him yet. That gives me some time to wander the streets before he shows up, and with him all the cats hereabouts.
Do you know where he lives?
Sure. And for a copper, I might even tell you.
Here are a few coins.
You're too kind, Governor. Well, these days I knows that he lives with his mammy on Hanbury Street, in the same place where Dark Annie bled to death.
Why did you
Nice.
call him poor Hardiman?
Bah, he's in grieving, of course. Just a few weeks ago he lost his wife. And 3 months before that, his girl, poor fella. He was in tatters. Even came to cry on my shoulder, believe it or not.
Well, I must leave you. I must go to Hanbury Street.
Okay, Hanbury's. Someone's screaming in the street again. Why am I even surprised? Okay, Hanbury Street was... this one?
No, that's Boxwell.
Oh. Which one's Hanbury Street? They don't have names. This is the most useless map in that it doesn't have
Been there
names.
before.
I know, because that's where the person was killed.
Yeah.
That doesn't have...
It's okay, you had this much trouble finding it.
What?
You had this much trouble finding it before.
Okay, I'm going this way. They don't have street signs.
They do. There are so many street signs.
What's this one say?
Batty Street.
Batty Street. Let's go down Batty Street and see where it leads.
Boxwell.
You said the other one was Bucks Road.
Yeah, that is it. Hang on, where are you?
I don't know, where am I?
I thought you were looking at your Boxwell.
I don't know where I am. I'm going... Oops, nope. This way, Watson. This way. I am
Fast
now...
travel point on Hanbury Street. It's called Hanbury Street.
No, I don't. Lucy's Lodgings, Clinic, Cobble's Shop, Pet Shop, Fletcher's Wood Shop. I don't have one called
Yes, you do.
Hanbury Street. No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, none of these. That one says Burner Street.
Just like you have one called Central News Agency and Hospital of London.
What? What? Fleet Street, London Hospital. None of these say Hanbury. Oh, this one does.
This is the building in which
Oops.
poor Annie Chapman was killed.
Beep beep.
Hey, Mr. Beep Beep.
Beep beep.
Hello, are you Mr. Hardiman?
That's me.
I am Dr. Watson. I have come to see you about Fletcher's shop. I would like to use it for an hour or two, if you have the keys and your rates are reasonable.
Do you want to operate on someone in the butcher's?
Not at all. One of my friends needs it to prepare pig's heads.
Well, why not? Fletcher certainly wouldn't mind, but there's a problem.
Oh, there's always a problem.
How so?
This morning, the neighbour above broke his key in the door. The old boy must have already had a drink.
So?
Well, I tried my best to unjam it with Fletcher's spare key, which is pretty thin, and bam, that one broke too.
Hard luck. But if you have the end of the broken key, perhaps it can be fixed.
It must still be upstairs. I didn't pick it up. Fletcher has a key too, so I didn't think it was a problem. Fancy, if I just had another key with a simpler blade, I could copy it. I'm great at odd jobs.
Fine, I will try to find all of that.
Okay.
Well, see you later then.
Goodbye, sir.
Alrighty. Well, I think I'm gonna end this episode here. I am tired. So before my brain has to think any more about American Civil Wars or murders or anything like that, I'm gonna go to bed. So thank you very much for joining me in Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. I'm excited to see what we're doing with pigs' heads. Who knows? Science! So, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.